looking good, yeah. When she walk, everyone stares. The baddest thing in our place. Switch it up, now she whining. About to slide right behind it. She look back with a smile on her face.
Welcome. This is the Simply King podcast. It's your boy Rodney Perry King himself. And you just tuned into the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. And today is a special one. I've been on a very interesting marathon here in Atlanta. I've recorded so many episodes to really, create that great batch of content because Atlanta truly is became the second home for so many dope creatives. And today I have yet again another creative and a person who has several slashes within his repertoire, and I appreciate that because I love that there are people who claim they do a lot and there are people who actually do a lot. And I think I really want to dive in, get to know my guest for the day, and also get you for you guys to get to know my guest as well. Today I have here with me, and I really want to know what the CTG stands for. But I have here with me event host, songwriter, dot connector, Millie.
You had to put the dot connector.
Yeah, I like it. I like it, and I think it's your energy feels like you can say that and mean it. And I think it's a difference between those hot buzzwords. But yes, welcome, Millie. So in your scream names and everything, you have Millie CTG. Tell me what the CTG stands for.
So CTG stands for Change the Game. And I feel in life this is what God has brought me to this beautiful earth to do. And it's to change the game. And, it's just in anything that it needs to be done with it, whether it's musically, if it's anything for inspiration, or if it's a situation where, as you say, I feel like we're going to be saying this a lot with the whole dot connected thing, when I'm able to at least put certain things to the puzzle in order for it to make a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So that's really the meaning in regards to change the game. I feel like I've been destined here to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah. So it's almost a mantra as well.
Exactly. Yes. Absolutely.
I like that. I like that you treat that as a part of your moniker and a part of you. So I know you're not originally from Atlanta. Where did you come from, and how long have you been here?
So I'm originally from New Jersey. I could say like New Jersey and New York because I was always back and forth growing up. My family, I went to school in New Jersey, but during the weekends, I would go back and forth to New York, Brooklyn to be exact. A lot of Brooklyn, a little bit of Queens, a little bit of Long Island, but mostly like Brooklyn, and because a lot of my relatives and my cousins, they reside there. So, so I've been in Atlanta for, I could say honestly, since I was 16.
Damn.
Yeah. So, so I can definitely say that I'm from Atlanta now.
For sure.
It's not a situation where I was like, I've been here for about 3 years and I rep it. I finished high school here. Yeah. I graduated college here.
Exactly.
Had my first internship. Actually in this building that we're in as right now. Like when they originally started in one of the other buildings, I was one of their first interns.
Damn.
And on my journey to do like radio as well, I had my first internship with Hot 107.9 over here in Atlanta. So a lot of the stuff that has put me in the position of where I'm at as of right now is because of Atlanta. So that's why I represent it to the fullest.
Damn. So in your lifetime, what made you, because you came here, your parents moved here, you decided to stay here, get your education here. What was it about Atlanta that made you feel comfortable and feel like you could actually pretty much start the real world and your real life here?
Growing up in New Jersey, I lived in a suburban white neighborhood.
Okay.
All right. So there was not a lot of people that looked like us where I grew up at.
Yeah.
From elementary school to my freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
there wasn't really a lot of black people. I grew up around black people, but when on a day-to-day basis going to elementary school, it was very slim to none. Before moving down to Atlanta, I always was in awe of the music in Atlanta. I always was a huge fan of Atlanta music, the Atlanta sound, and plus seeing black excellence. It's very rare to see that growing up.
Yeah.
So when I was in middle school, I was listening to Outkast. Outkast was the first Atlanta group that made me fall in love with the Atlanta scene.
Yeah.
Was Southern Playlistic Cadillac Pimpin', you know what I'm saying? From there to ATLians, I was listening to that on repeat.
Yeah.
And then when T.I. came out first, but I'm not talking about what was it, trap music. I'm talking about I'm serious T.I. When I first heard T.I. and I listened to them and Outkast back and forth. And my mom was listening to it as well too, and I told her, I was like, Mom, I would love to go to Atlanta. And she was shocked because lo and behold, she was thinking about moving to Atlanta.
Damn.
So it was
divine timing.
Yeah, divine timing, and it was low-key a little bit of a premature manifestation at the end of the day.
Really? Why?
Well, it's because my mom asked while I was in middle school at the time, right? So she was asking okay, you're about to go to high school, you're about to step into a different part of your life where you're gonna start thinking about what do you want to do.
Yeah.
And she always knew that I love music. She always knew that I love performing, and I just knew how to gravitate and bring people towards my, I had their undivided attention.
Yeah.
And I felt like that Atlanta was an opportunity for me to really excel and also be around like-minded individuals that have the same hunger, have the same passion as I do.
Yes.
So, and knowing that at 14, 15 years old, that was a whole nother, my mind was in a completely different place.
Yeah.
So when I finally moved down to Atlanta, now of course, if you're from Atlanta, you're thinking that you're gonna be in the city.
Yeah.
But we was in the suburbs, so we was right on the outskirts from Atlanta. So we moved to this small town. Well, originally we lived in Norcross for a little bit, and then my parents bought a home in a small town called Grayson. So it was very, very similar to where I lived in New Jersey, where it was predominantly white. However, there was way more percentage of black people in the area. I just didn't know it until I went to high school. So being around more people that looked like me, it was shocking at first. And I learned how to adapt to it. Everybody's views and opinions are a lot different. The one thing I definitely learned is Southern hospitality, because everybody is friendly. In New York and New Jersey, you wave to somebody, they thinking you owe them something, or they did something wrong, or you ready to square up. You know what I'm saying? So just moving down here and then just getting reacquainted and understanding more about me and my blackness.
Yeah.
It helped put me in the positions where I figure out, okay, this is what I really want to do from here.
Yeah. I love that, because I think that is something that since being, I guess, brought into awareness of what Atlanta is at a young age, being from the South, it's always been kind of presented in that way of it being this place where people have started over, gotten a fresh start, went there and actually strive for this idea or this dream that they had. That's always been at least a great connotation that has been on Atlanta for at least all of my life.
Right.
And I've always admired that. And as I got older, when it came to thinking about going to school and things like that,
right.
I think I was definitely in that same mindset as you, thinking even if I didn't know exactly what it is the hell I wanted to do at that time, but had ideas, I was like, yeah, I think this would be the place to go. This would be the place to be. And also I think I just was intrigued by actually being in a place I didn't know. And I don't know if it was the longing for some challenge or whatever it might have been. But what college did you go to?
So I actually graduated from the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah. What'd you study?
Video production.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, high school wise, of course, I graduated from Grayson High School.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to them. They just won. I believe they just won the national high school championship in Georgia.
Damn.
I believe. I know they played against Collins Hill a couple of days ago. Yeah, I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I was under the impression in regards to going there that I was going to do audio production. Back in high school, I was really big in video. So I was doing all the morning announcements. I was doing music videos. I was in a technical program as well, too, where they focus more on film. So I kind of treated it because I just had to take that, and the credits required for graduation were more heavy on the technical side. So I decided to go that route.
Yeah.
To not take as much classes in your regular curriculum classes.
Yeah.
So with that, it transitioned over to the Art Institute where I wanted to learn more about audio and video.
Yeah.
But during the time, I was meeting several different individuals where the stuff that they're teaching them, like they were my college roommates. I was learning it, in the dorm rooms. So it made sense for me to let me go ahead and harness what I know best and see where it takes it from there.
What do you think it is that has kept this kind of collaborative spirit and energy throughout Atlanta, I guess, consistent over the years? Because I feel like you speak about that from the time where you were 16 years old. I'm speaking about it when I was 18 before coming down, and I've always kind of heard those things from people who either have came or are just even thinking about it. Like, I'm gonna move down to Atlanta. I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be better. What is it about? What do you think it is that has allowed for Atlanta to keep that in a part of its culture?
The energy. It's the energy, because overall wise, you come to Atlanta, a lot of people gonna come. They're gonna open their arms to you. Yeah. Of course, you have to be aware of who you be around.
For sure.
At the same time, like, everybody just trying to get it. Everybody just trying to work.
Yeah.
And then plus at the same time, for people that coming out here for vacation, they see the videos, they see the people popping bottles in the club, they see that the ratio of black women is astronomical in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And plus you see the fact that people are really popping off in here.
Yeah.
As long as you have that hustle spirit, that grind mentality, like you're gonna be able to make it easily in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But you have to be consistent with it. Consistency is key. Like, your first month, like it. I've seen situations where people move to Atlanta, they feel like everything's gonna be different because they feel like everything's gonna be handed to them. Shit's not handed to you. You gotta earn it. So, I've seen a lot of success. I've seen a lot of failed trials. I've seen a lot of situations where people come out here with no money in their bank account, but 6 months later, making enough to just get by, to a year later making enough money to buy a home. And then I've seen situations where people move down here, they have all the money saved up, they got themselves situated in a good spot. They don't really do their research. They just feel like, okay, let me get there, and then everything's gonna come to me. And then 6 months later, they're going back to live with their parents and start back up.
Yeah. So
Atlanta is what you make it.
Yeah. I agree. And I'll add to that I think I said this to you in our first conversation. Like, I think the aspect of welcoming in new minds and new ideas from individuals outside of the city, I think, is what keeps the city fresh. Like actually making room for those transplants, actually making room for those individuals who may not be natives of the city, but are essentially doing positive things to add to the culture. I think depending on the city, that may be a little bit harder. It's like, hold on, we ain't asked for, you know, this kind of outsider influence, I guess, you know.
Yeah, that's
because people believe that doing that will kind of lose the essence of what the city is if they allow for people who aren't from here, quote unquote, to direct where the city goes. But I feel like Atlanta has found a way to not only lean into that, but still make that a part of who they are, and Atlanta still is Atlanta, you know?
That is true. You know, for people that's going to come in here and they have a vision and they have a dream, I always recommend to make sure that you connect with people that not only homegrown, but have been around long enough to at least put you in the, at least help you lead you into the direction that you want to go. Because, yeah, you're going to get a lot of people that are like, man, we don't need y'all over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. But what are you doing about it?
Mm-hmm.
You can sit here and say, man, we good, we full. But, like, if you're going to move down to Atlanta, at least have a plan and attack it.
Yeah.
You know, there's just been so, you know, with this pandemic, it's been so crazy of what's going on in regards to the city. Because all the stuff in regards to, like, the shootings, the fights, everything, a lot of stuff has been done by out-of-towners.
Yeah.
Not homegrown.
Yeah.
Because we know better.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you're in Atlanta, you can walk the Slutty Vegan, then you might see a little baby up there.
Yeah.
But we, you know, we're not gonna be starstruck because we understand that if celebrities move down here, they're human. You know, yeah, we might have a little awestruck moment, but then we keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. You can go to the Apple store and Drake might be in there trying to get his screen replaced.
Yeah.
But you know, you just keep it cool.
Yeah.
Ironically, I had a funny story. My girl was in the same elevator with Drake. Didn't acknowledge him. Didn't realize it. Didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he said hi. She was like, hey. And then that was it.
Yeah.
And then her friends was like, you know that was Drake, right? And then she was like, I mean, he's still human.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
very true.
And that's how Atlanta is. Like, you know, we respect what you're doing,
mm-hmm.
and we expect you to just keep, you know, do your thing.
Hell yeah.
Don't try to overstay your welcome at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it gets wrong. People feel like, okay, yeah, we in Atlanta, we gonna run this stuff. Nah, brother. You come in with the wrong energy, that energy is gonna come back at you tenfold, and it's not gonna be in the best situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I can honestly say now, from what I see from this standpoint, for people that want to build a brand, for people that have a goal, that have a mission, and is willing to network and be in situations to be vulnerable, because sometimes you might get humbled,
mm-hmm.
respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, then you'll be fine. But if you feel like you're going to come here and everything's just going to happen within like the next 15 to 30 days, and you don't put no work in, you don't put your foot on the pedal, forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I think that's definitely something that's in the air, regardless if you lean into it or not. Like, just the energy to be active, the energy to stay activated, and actually, you know, just kind of always have something moving.
Yes, because the one thing that Atlanta is known for, not only for business opportunities, is the lifestyle.
Yeah.
The party.
Yeah.
You don't want to get lost into that.
You don't.
You can get lost in the sauce so quick. One party can change your life, and you want to be out every single night because everybody else is out every single night. But they're not here for the same reasons that you're here.
Mm.
And I feel like that's what a lot of people get lost in.
Yeah.
They see the people popping bottles. They see the bottle girls looking like strippers, but they're not strippers. They just serving you a bottle. They see how everybody's throwing money in the air. They see all the strip clubs that's popping everything. Yeah, you want that lifestyle, but you gotta earn it. And you don't know what these people are doing behind the scenes, whether they're doing shit legally or illegally.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out what your trade is, and then you have to learn how to balance.
Yeah.
Balance is the biggest key in living in Atlanta.
Mm. Yeah, especially if you want to go to school here too. If you come down here for school.
Oh my gosh! And don't let your classmates be club promoters as well too, because that's what makes it even worse.
That's the thing.
You sitting here in history and they're passing out flyers in each of your seats, like, hey man, you know, we got this party like later on, you know, on Thursday. You know, it's college night. You trying to pull up, like, it's bad.
Yeah.
And I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. You know, sometimes even club promoters that don't even go to the college, they will pull up at the colleges, acting like they're students, just to promote their parties.
Yeah. I know it. I've seen the tactics for sure, and it's a trip. But I think it helps. I think Atlanta to me feels like a beautiful microcosm of what so much of predominantly black cities could be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think it truly can be the blueprint more than anything. In terms of, and obviously, you know, make it to make sense wherever you are, but I think the intangibles that I think Atlanta possesses aren't impossible to duplicate. You know,
it is not. It is not. It's just that what I say about Atlanta is that the businesses and the streets have a really, really good relationship. If you're from here, I would say that, because you know, there's a lot of street niggas out here that respect anybody that's doing the grind, that's getting into the money, anything from that standpoint. And they understand the essence of what Atlanta brings. Yeah. Because, you know, if you live outside Atlanta, you really think that it's Black Hollywood. Yeah. And they wanted to maintain that moniker. And more people need to come together and understand that if we all align as one, then we're capable of doing anything. Period. And it's like the conversation that we had a couple of days ago, you know, when you were explaining in regards to what Chicago can be. Yeah. Right? So, and I feel like Chicago is definitely on the cusp of doing that, because I have a lot of friends that are from Chicago, and you know, they're really one and the same. But at the same time, it's like, I know what you were explaining to me before, like if people trying to really start up stuff in Chicago, like hold on, bro, like we really don't know you like that, so we don't know what your intentions are. Yeah. And I get it, because most of the time there's a lot of people from Chicago that's on 10 because of whatever the surroundings is. Yes. So, and it's the same thing with Atlanta, but there is a mutual respect.
Mm-hmm. If you come correct.
Exactly.
And I think that is the I think that's the thing that doesn't really matter in Chicago sometimes. you can come with a whole motherfucking portfolio, prospectus, and a business plan. They're gonna be like, I don't know though. Yeah. Like, who know you? Like, right. who know you that I know? You know. And I think I understand. I understand the environment. I understand the sensitivity and the guardedness. But also too, I think there's a lot of pride in terms of like just how they really do admire and protect the culture of their city in Chicago, right, in a really, really strong way. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But I do believe that can be, you know, truly bottled up and go on tour. You know, I think it can be something that people outside of the city really understand, because I think that would change a lot of mindsets for people who are ignorant to what Chicago really is like. Because so many people believe Chicago to be this, you know, very much so this Chirac. It's always dangerous. It's, you know, 30 to 40 people plus getting shot every other weekend, and especially on holiday weekends, and you know, it's cold, which is true. But that's one thing that is true. It is cold. But I think it's the what's crazy is the people are a hodgepodge of like being guarded, but also having these southern sensibilities at times too. So it's a real interesting kind of dynamic. But I believe that just like what you said earlier, you know, I think it's not about, you know, somebody coming in and doing something and trying to take over, but it's like, you know, what have you done though? Like what are you trying to do to make it different, or make it, you know, trying to, you know, really change the vibe or change the feeling, or start something. And allow for that to be something that can be a mainstay more than anything. And I think that's something that is that can be done, that I think can, and it also can be protected too. Right. In terms of thinking about you know, the nightlife scenes, thinking about, like, I love how I remember learning this in in college, the just the strip club scene in Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. And I love how respected it is in terms of just it not being kind of made into a taboo, as I believe it would be in so many other parts of the Southeast, honestly. Like, the fact that we're in the South and this is something that, you know, is truly, you know, celebrated. I remember telling somebody, I was like, yeah, it was like strip clubs, like really, really a strong thing. Somebody who never been to Atlanta, I was like, hell yeah, it's like nursing. Everybody know it's just as respected. A lot of people do it. A lot of people have done it, and it is what it is. You know,
Right.
it's not something to dwell on or make it into a thing. It's a hustle. You know what I'm saying? It's a hustle
Right.
that you can get into and do. Go be about it at whatever level you would like to be. You know, and I feel like every city can truly duplicate that sense of like seeing what we're great at, seeing what's attractive about our city, and amplifying that to the highest degree. You
Right.
know, and I think that that's what Atlanta has done and is still doing to this day. They're not trying to be like any other city. They're trying to be like themselves in the most full ways.
Well, the other thing is as well too, and you know, it's the food, bro. The food at the strip clubs is crazy. I mean, just in the most respectful way possible, right? Don't get me wrong, like, who doesn't love seeing strippers go on the pole and do magic tricks and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
But if you really want some good lemon pepper wings, extra wet, extra crunchy, authentic wise, not the little small little tiny wings that you would get at you know, I ain't gonna say no names 'cause I don't want no backlash. But you know
No,
what I'm talking about.
yeah. Please don't.
But
People are sensitive about their chicken.
exactly, people are sensitive about their chicken. However, comma, the food is great there too.
Yeah.
So like when people was giving Lou Will so much backlash, like if you ain't in the city, you don't know. You don't know. So, you know, like people making fun or trying to talk trash about Slutty Vegan, but Slutty Vegan is opening up stores in places that you wouldn't even expect, and just opened up a storefront in Alabama.
And about to do one in Pine City Market too.
Yeah, exactly.
And she owned all those spaces.
Exactly, in the most gentrified areas possible. So, unless you here, mind your business. That's just the best way to explain it. Like, you know, with women that are in the strip club scene, like, look, it's more power to them because at the end of the day, they gotta make sure that 1, they're in the right mental. 2, that their body is right. 3, dealing with these fugazi ass niggas that ain't got shit but just wanna, you know, see a body and everything like that. Cause they gotta go through so much stuff. You know, they do, and they don't get it. They don't get enough credit for it. However, they do get enough credit when they get that money. When they get that bag. But you know, it's not the easiest job to have.
Nah, I can only imagine.
And then plus, that money come quick.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta worry about taxes that much. You know, it's a whole nother ballgame. That fast money is crazy.
Yeah.
You know. So it's always more power to them. So you know, we look at them just as I have a lot of respect for DJs.
Yeah.
You know, I DJ time and time, but like I don't do it full time.
Yeah.
But you know, it's a skill.
Hell yeah.
It's an art.
Hell yeah.
You know, and it's like not everybody can DJ. You got to understand how to control the crowd.
Yes.
And that is not an easy task to do. Because when you feel like you got the best playlist, but if nobody's moving, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I think I appreciate any DJ who has just great audible skills. You know what I'm saying? When there's something either by way of the energy shifting in the room, certain people come in, or just a certain vibe kind of just you know, it just occurs, and they're able to, you know, go off what they probably had planned for their set to match whatever the vibe is now.
And that's the biggest thing that you have to learn in regards to the party scene. So, you know, my bros, my peoples, they come out and support, but they might not listen to the same music that everybody in Atlanta listens to. So, you know, so when they come up and they ask, yo, can you play this? It might not catch the vibe. You might like it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the people, the hard-earning people that paid for a section, that got a birthday party going on, or they, you know, they trying to buy all the bottles, and they might not want to listen to that. Like, just, you know, just from a different perspective. So like, with me being as like an event host, I always watch the crowd. My biggest thing is I love controlling the vibe.
Yeah,
I do. I love it. I love it 100% because it just shows that. It shows the power that you have on making sure the event is a success. And then sometimes the DJ wants to focus more on the mix, and it's all about energy.
Yeah.
With the energy that you provide while you're emceeing, and make sure that the party is lit. If the DJ can match your energy, then your party is a success.
So is that the only I guess thing that you're kind of measuring when it comes to you getting booked for something? You're going through that whole night. You're off at the party's over at 2 a.m. Are you then saying like, yeah, that was a vibe because of this element, or is it more than just that?
It's still more because it's not only the DJ. It's the club itself too.
Yeah.
Because you gotta realize that you walking in a position, you gotta make sure that everybody gets paid. From the bartenders to the bottle girls to the hookah girls, shit, even security sometimes. You gotta make sure that everybody is on the same page and everybody's catching the same vibe, because it's so important to make sure that everybody has a smile on their face or enjoying themselves or having a good time. With this party situation, you can go to a party and I've seen it countless times again, especially when I'm not hosting, that people are just sitting around looking at each other. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I never enjoyed that. I always want to make sure that, if you're really gonna enjoy yourself to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Shit, I want you standing on some furniture. I want you on your phone showing your friends how much of a good time that you have. I want you singing the lyrics to songs when the music stops.
Yeah. I
want you to make some noise if you just got paid. Make some noise if you got a promotion. Make some noise if you independent and you didn't need nobody to pay to get you into the club.
Yeah.
Like, this is supposed to be the best night of your life.
Yeah.
And my goal is to make sure of that when I'm a host.
Yeah.
Period. Even when I'm performing, I want to make sure that you're having the best time when you perform it. When you enjoying the show at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my biggest thing at the end of the day. So my goal is to make sure that everybody comes home or leaves having a good ass time, remembering that night.
Hell yeah.
It's an art, man. It's a fucking art. And some people think they got it, and then there's some people that don't got it.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of energy. I think I've always admired that about a really great host, from my college years to even now, and it's crazy. It's damn near sad to even think about it, because it's just Atlanta probably the only place that's actually still trying to find ways to get shit popping.
Yeah, just to innovate. It gets wild and wild. So like when we was all locked down, right? Because everybody, so for everybody that don't live outside of Georgia, let me rephrase that. For those who live outside of Georgia, and you think that Atlanta's been outside the whole entire pandemic, I'm gonna tell you now, no. There was a period of time where we were completely shut down. The clubs were shut down and everything. The only reason why Atlanta's outside is because we got a Republican governor that doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
And so folks like, we're gonna get money.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna get money.
That's all it is. But even when we was locked down, my shout out my dog, because he was the first person that did it and he innovated it. My dog DJ A+, he created Zoom parties. So pretty much he was at the crib. He set up his audio system with his DJ equipment, got on Zoom, set a private invite, and people were partying in the crib while he was playing music in clear quality sound.
That's dope.
So people were still having fun during the pandemic, and that's one of the things I just love about Atlanta, because we think of the most unorthodox ways of trying to make sure that we have a good time. If you're in Atlanta, you have to have a good time whenever you're out.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
I agree. It's almost hard not to, but maybe I'm biased because I went to school here, so my affinity is very specific too.
Well, yeah, that's true. But at the same time, you got to experience something that you didn't experience back home.
Hell yeah. The school I went to, Clark Atlanta University.
Go Panthers, by the way.
Yes. It was 27-1 male to female ratio, which was like moving to Atlanta was already a culture shock in terms of just the very clear blackness that the city possesses.
Unapologetically.
But then also kind of doubling in and having this very strong sense of femininity throughout the city in terms of just the people. It was just like, damn, yeah, this is gonna be lit. Let me go ahead and settle in because it's gonna be a good time. Right. But I learned a lot. I learned so much, and I'm glad that I made that move and came here because it feels good to call a place like this a second home where I can come and fill in with energy and have connections and have those mutuals. You know, it's dope that you know who Ray 23 is with Black Atlanta and that be a part of the whole thing. And I love that, especially when you go to school here and your network expands past that. And as people just go and do new things, like now I can really feel so proud to say my connections to Atlanta are, truly still, benefiting me still to this day. And what's crazy is I feel like I'm only dug into it just a little bit. Like that's what's crazy. It's like I feel like I haven't even put my whole self into it. It's people I've known. It's people that I've recorded with this week that I've known for almost a decade. And it's like, yeah, I'm just now getting to you with my pod. But it's like, it's not even like I had you on standby. But it's just like this is how many people I feel like I know who are qualified to either speak to a particular topic or just add a perspective on something, or they're just doing dope shit, and I just really want to capture their story at this time.
Right.
And but speaking of dope shit, because there is a buzzword and a phrase that you have leaned into, and as I've celebrated you by saying that you give the energy of that actually being what you do and what you do and what you're doing, and that's being a dot connector. And I understand because nowadays. And it's unfortunate because some people kind of just, overuse and oversaturate certain terms, certain phrases and things like that. Like I remember I literally had an episode featuring R.K. Jackson, shout out to him, where he where literally I named the episode I'm a Creative. Because that was a buzzword to me, several years ago, where just everybody was just considering themselves that with no discernible trades or specific things. They just would say that, and I'm like, okay, I guess we'll see what comes out of whatever it is that you create. Right. But it's like just calling yourself this, but not really having a skill attached to it or some work that you've actually done and can say that you've done the I guess a big part of it. It was so interesting to me. But I think dot connector is something that has kind of filled in that space of being this term that people use when they feel like they have brokered a lot of situations, and at least that's what I've always seen it to be. And you could tell me how you would define it, but I've always seen it to be a person who sees opportunities and brings those parties together to make something happen.
Yeah. So I mean, you hit it right on the bullseye, bro. Like for real. The way I look at Dr. Nectar is that seizing the opportunity that needs to be taken care of. Mm-hmm. So I always try to keep my ear out to what I know and who I know. Yeah. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to have relationships and know a lot of people in different spectrums that you would least expect. Mm-hmm. And I always come across people that might need something or might just need this one little thing that might excel their business to the next level or might just get themselves where they needed to be. Mm-hmm. And I always try to pair them with that right energy. But at the same time, like, energy's big when it comes to it. So yeah. I never want to put anybody in a situation where they feel is at the end of the day not going to be beneficial. So, cause the biggest thing is that, like, if I meet you, it's kind of like how before we started this episode, like, you had to pre-qualify me first, right? Just to make sure that I go in regards to what your mantra is in regards to the podcast, and also what you're trying to show your audience. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So the same thing with me. If I meet you and I see how your energy is and I see how you move, then at the same time it gives me a good explanation. Like, okay, I know this person's a go getter, so if I put them in a position with this person that needs this service, then I know that they're gonna do great.
Yeah.
Biggest thing with me at the end of the day is that, like, if I connect you, I don't want them to have a bad taste in their mouth after the experience. I want to make sure that your services, like, you know, people can go back and forth and say, like, yo, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. But if you don't have the same energy as your pitch,
yeah,
then there's no point in me trying to connect you with it.
Yeah. Would you say that how often does it feel like you are the initiator of these particular connections by way of people requesting that of you versus you seeing them and just putting things together?
So I've been blessed in the situation where I can see it before they even ask it.
Okay.
So yeah, there's been times where I'll be like, hey, Millie, do you know someone that can do this or someone that can do that? Yes, I get those a lot. But also at the same time, like, if I meet someone that, let's just say they're starting up a clothing line, and they might need they have the vision, but they need someone to really bring it to life. Then I could be like, hey, well, I know this graphic designer or this graphics artist that that might be the energy that you need to bring your brand to life. I'll put those two together, but I want to make sure that they mesh, because at the end of the day, like, you can put people together, but at the same time, if they don't match the same energy or inspire one another to actually step up their energy, then the connection is not worth it. Because at the end of the day, people, if you collab, it's supposed to make both of you guys look better. Not one person look good and the other one's still behind the scenes.
Yeah. But that points to the next question I have for you in that same line. How much does ego play a role, or how much has ego played a role within that being something that's a tendency that you've tapped into over the years?
It goes back to energy. Everybody can have an ego.
Yeah.
You know? But there's a difference between ego and there's also humility.
Yeah.
You can be humble and have an ego at the same time when it comes to you in your craft. I rather you show your confidence in your passion than just speak it out to the world.
Yeah.
Because if you speak it out to the world, I'm expecting that same energy. If that energy is lackluster in your passion, then you need to realign yourself. And you need to see what makes you good and what makes you approachable. Because at the end of the day, somebody can do A, B, and C, but they can't do E, F, G.
Yeah. I think it's funny to me because I think that so often I've learned so much about my own ego and how I've, like, been able to understand myself by not trying to I would say make myself small, but make myself adaptable more than anything. And I think that that's something that, to me, when it comes to collaboration, that's something I always keep in mind. It's like how much of me needs to fill up this room, you know? And sometimes you might need to fill up the most because depending on the particular I guess proposition that's, you know, presented to you, you may need to put so much of yourself into this, you know,
that's
because even if that's not a passion project that you even, you know, initiated on your own, just by way of you knowing that, you know, your name or your reputation or whatever, or just your quality of work being brought into it, you may be like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to, you know, really go in with this versus knowing that you have a really solid ass team of people around you, and it's like, I'm gonna play my role. I can pass the ball. I don't have to just be all throughout this room and filling this up. I can really play this role because we are truly pillars in here and not just, you know, these silos working on our own things, and hopefully we could bring something together.
Sometimes you have to be a James Harden.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be a James Harden or a Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or Kyrie Irving. And they're great. They're great at what they do.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, when you have a benefit of having a Steph Curry, a Klay Thompson, a Draymond Green,
Yep.
you know,
You can ease up.
You can ease up a little bit. You don't have to put as much emphasis around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I look for at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I have to play that role at times? Of course.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day is that your goal in that situation is to help inspire that person to become more of a team player.
Mm-hmm.
And expand their horizons and putting them in the position where it's a position to win,
Yeah.
instead of losing.
Yeah.
Because you can still win, but in the back you might be still losing.
Mm.
My goal is to make sure that if I get you connected in the right situation, that you win.
Yeah.
And you keep going up,
Yeah.
instead of being, stuck in the middle or just going back down the hill.
Yeah.
Like, it's like we're trying to put the right things together. It's always going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah.
It's how you control it and how you handle it.
Yeah. What have you had any situations that were any connections that you made where your intuition was just a little off, like where it just didn't, it went south, the connection went south or whatever, and I guess if that has occurred, how did you handle it? Or did they even bring you back into it, you know what I'm saying, to even handle anything? Because I can understand if you made this connection, and the things that happen are the things that happen, and you just support it from a close arm's reach or whatever that may be. They may not even involve you in that breakdown, I guess.
Yeah. So there was an opportunity for two associates that I knew of.
Mm-hmm.
One was a guy, one was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I figured, I introduced them at a networking event,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, hey, she does this, he does that. I think it would be great if you guys network, and I say it to the best of my abilities, network to get yourself in, to help expand your careers.
Yeah.
Both of you guys' careers.
Yeah.
Because at the time, they were both aspiring.
Yeah.
I get a phone call like maybe a month and a half later from the female associate that I had, and she was telling me to the point where the guy was being too let's just put it like this, he crossed a boundary that he should have not have crossed.
Mm.
And it's already tough enough when you're trying to network with people and they try to take advantage of a situation.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the my friend, she's not ugly. She's definitely very attractive. So in that situation, yet alone, it put me in a bad place because it's kind of like, hey, you have someone that trusts you because she's seen the work that you've done.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you thought you knew someone that had the intentions of trying to build, but really was just trying to, in the most respectful way possible, take advantage of a situation that he shouldn't have.
Yes.
So, what I did in regards to it, I called him out on it.
Yeah.
I was like, look, man, like, if I put you in a situation to win, I want you to win. But at the same time, like, don't overstep your boundaries. Do your job first. And if there's some type of energy after the job is done, cool. But don't do it during it.
Yeah.
Because you might think, oh man, well, it's a dub for me. Like, it looks bad on you, but it looks worse on me because I referred you to her.
Yeah.
And I had to cut off that relationship I had with that person because, and it wasn't like a close friend or like one of the people that I was in the trenches with or anything like that. But at the same time, business is business.
Yeah.
And if my name's going to be out there, I don't want it to be out there in a situation dealing with savages.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
One of my mentors, my mentor's wife, China Lofton, always said that there's certain situations when you get in the business relationship that you have to learn to love from a distance.
Yep.
And that's what I had to do from that person. But in this situation, I had to like from a distance.
Yeah. It was like, sometimes it ain't love.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't love, man.
Yeah, sometimes it ain't love. But I applaud you for doing that, because I think that's something that we need to hear more anecdotes about.
Yeah,
people who have, truly check the people when they go wrong, no matter what level of the relationship is, because we need that to really keep everything safe, keep people feeling inspired to continuously meet new people and keep networking. Like that's like attaching a bad experience to something that you actually need to do to make yourself better isn't ever good. No one ever wants to go through anything at any level of traumatic or uncomfortable, and that be attached to something they really need to do. So I can only imagine, because it's kind of like she can move on and go to continuously go to events, go to industry events, go to networking events or whatever it may be, and still be kind of apprehensive. And it may be a man or woman who truly can assist her, and maybe the exact connection that she needs. But it's like, I don't know, because I don't know if because this is a thing, it could be a thing, and I'm glad that you at least provided that. I don't know, kind of came in with some sense of refuge.
You have to, and especially when it comes to women. You know what I'm saying? Like, the women are our mecca. Women at the end of the day is gonna make the men elevate to the best of their abilities, and we gotta protect our queens, man. And we whether it's someone that you're an acquaintance with, someone that you're in a relationship with, or someone that you have a business relationship at the end of the day, because it's already tough for women to get themselves to the next level when men just look at them. With some men, not all men, some men look at them as just a piece of meat, which they're not. They're human beings. They have thoughts, they got dreams, they have aspirations, they got goals, they got dedication, they got drive, and they're determined to get themselves to the next level. You never know how it's going to benefit you at the end of the day, because if that person blows up, they ask you, yo, how did you get into this situation? Well, it all started with me networking with Millie, or me networking with Rodney, or me getting myself in the right position with people that really care about my development and not just my features. So I've been surrounded by women all my life, from my sisters to their friends to even some of my real close acquaintances, because at the end of the day, I understand their value and I understand how they're gonna benefit me. Like, even when I do music, my bros sometimes be like, man, you doing your thing with this like international and the singing, and you can't to the women, but you gotta spit for it sometimes. Yeah, but you're not gonna buy my shit. Like, women invest more in regards to progression, businesses, and everything else. Without a shot of a doubt.
For sure. Before
men do. And I'm not speaking in regards to the people that are in my circle. I'm just talking about in general.
Yes.
The
data's out there.
The data's out there. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just right off the bat. So you want to make sure that you put them in the best position possible, no matter what the situation is. Just a quick follow up on that, associate. I did reconnect with a different person that I know is 100% about their business, and but they're still working together to this day.
Dope.
In regards to with their venture that they have together. So I'm forever grateful in regards to that, because I love seeing stuff like that. When people still continuously working together, it's a beautiful thing.
I love that. I'm glad that you quickly figured out a way to mend that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I'll end with is, you know, tapping into and allowing you to speak to all the other things that you do, because you are a man of many things, and you just spoke about, you know, music, and songwriter is something that, you know, you hold as a part of, you know, your multifacetedness.
Yes.
Talk more about the music that you create, either for you and others.
I started off more as an artist first,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm still an artist as of now.
Mm-hmm.
But music is the one thing that keeps me sane. You know, it helps with my mental, it helps with my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, like, if it's a situation where I'm not in the best of moods, or something that just really upset and concerning me, I take that and put it towards the music.
Okay.
So it's one thing that keeps me sane. To me, you know, the goal, of course, is to have my music everywhere, whether it's me or it's someone else that is singing my lyrics.
Yeah.
But just to be able to create music that feels good but has a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, as of right now with 2020, I did release 2 songs. I was supposed to really have this whole rollout for a project that I've been really, really working on. But I feel like, you know, with the pandemic and having to be forced to sit down, it gave me more of an opportunity to really fine tune what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And what message that I feel like the world needs to hear as of right now.
Mm.
Every artist, in my opinion, whether you on or you not, is on the same equal playing field, because I feel like everybody doesn't want to hear the same shit anymore.
Yep.
And they want to hear real shit.
Yep.
They want to hear stories. They want to hear your perspective on stuff, you know. And I wanted to create a body of work where it really is my perspective of certain things, but at the same time, like, you really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to create music that is timeless. I want to make music that, you know, your grandma can two-step to.
Mm.
I want to make music that kids can, you know, just have fun with,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time understand, like, the meaning of the song. Like,
Mm-hmm.
So I really tap back into, like, my international roots, and I've always been a fan of international music, whether it's like Afrobeats, compa, soca, chubadu, you know, reggae, of course, like, duh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, dancehall, whatever. But I wanted to create feel good music with a purpose that is something that you can move to, but at the same time, like, just enjoy yourself. People
Yeah.
need to start enjoying themselves again. Like,
Yeah.
especially, we made it this far, you know. Are we almost out? Nobody knows at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure I have that music that once we are able to really go outside again,
Yeah.
and travel and, like, have kickbacks, have block parties, picnics and everything, that I create the music to help facilitate those events or those type of vibes. Like, vibes is big with me.
Yeah.
I'm big on vibes. I'm big on energy. I'm big on just the overall experience. So what I learned is that everybody's like, yo, Millie, when you on the mic at a party, it's always a vibe. Okay, so how can I put that same energy with me hosting into music?
Yeah.
So that's what has been my biggest goal. In regards to a songwriter standpoint, I've worked on children's books,
Mm-hmm.
children's hip hop books. I've worked with, of course, like, different artists as well too. Some up and coming. I did get the opportunity to work with Shamik Moore, on his attributes in regards to becoming a recording artist. He's always been a recording artist.
Yeah.
but,
Right.
yeah. The guy is a talented individual.
Mm-hmm.
He is very talented, and, you know, I always loved his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has an insane work ethic. Like, we'll sit here, it'll be 3:00 in the morning. I'll be lost in the couch waiting for him to finish his verse, and then he'll wake me up like, "Come on, bro, let's do push-ups." I'm like, "Dog, it's 3:00 in the morning. Come on, bro, let's do push-ups." So we sitting here just doing push-ups in tree sound, just just trying to keep the energy alive and everything. And I've worked with Troy, man. That's like my old bro right there, man. He was on the Rhythm and Flow on Netflix.
Yes.
He was the one that came in 4th place.
Yeah.
At the finale. So that's my little
like
bro.
that last song, like
Streetlights.
Yeah, that last song he did was like something that I hope that he gets all placements for. Even if he doesn't, that vibe was definitely something that he really was trying to show out on. So that was a great concept of a show.
It was.
And they really put on a lot of people who were, you could tell, were doing it for a long time.
So here is a dot connected story.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna take all the credit for it.
Mm-hmm.
However, the auditions for Rhythm and Flow was brought to me first.
Okay.
And shout out to Drip Machina. He's actually one of my go-to producers. He was telling me about the auditions. He was like, "You should try out for it." And I told Troy he should do it too. And we were supposed to audition the same day, but we ended up auditioning different days. But I got in contact with his team at the time and was like, "Hey, they got this show that they're working on with Netflix. I think Troy would be dope for it." So I sent them the link to submit for it, and both of us auditioned. And Troy got the call back.
That's dope.
So that gives you just a little bit of example, like how close like me and Troy's relationship is, because I don't want to say like if it was for me, Troy would never be on Rhythm and Flow. No, like the way the universe works is that things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And I was blessed for the opportunity to get a message, and I also made sure that my little bro had an opportunity to do it as well. And I'm happy for his success. I'm happy how far he's going, and he just gave me I bumped into him a couple weeks ago when he let me hear some of the new stuff he's been working on. In 2020, he did release a project called Insomniac that had features with Flawless, with T.I., with London B, all the last contestants and everything, and it was dope. But this new project that he's coming with is scary. It's called he's supposed to be dropping it soon. It's called Godspeed. But
okay.
So he's working on that. But in regards to just songwriter wise, yeah, I work with a lot of different people, and I'm grateful for the opportunities and the connections that I'm able to make with it, because I get to meet different producers and engineers and everything from that standpoint, and have had opportunities to work at recording studios that I always wanted to work at. Like when I was working with Shamik, I had a whole opportunity to work at Tree Sound,
which is so cool, so classic.
Gosh, I love shout out Millie, man, because oh my gosh,
and everybody sings her praises too. I love that.
Molly, Molly is. Look, if you go to Tree Sound and you don't have an opportunity to meet Molly, you crazy. Okay, she is one of the most humble, most energy lifting individuals, and then don't let her cook for you. 'Cause, what? Oh my gosh! I think it was one time we was in Treehouse has so many different rooms, and we were in one of the bigger rooms. And it had a big old couch, and man, I was so tired. I fell asleep.
Oh, for sure.
I was not. I wake up prematurely.
Yeah.
And Molly was right there like, "Hey, Millie, I made some food." And I'm just sitting there like, "Yay," and I'm just asleep. And she was like, "Hey, just leave it there. When he wakes up, he'll eat it." So she leaves me a plate of just grilled chicken, mac and cheese, just it's such a like a real home experience, and it's really it's decked off, so it's not somewhere with bright lights that you would least expect where to be at. Two, it's like living in a treehouse. It really is. There's so many different areas and different levels, and it's an experience yet alone to just be around. And I just love the vibes over at Tree Sound, man. There. So shout out to them. Shout out to Molly. Shout out 3 Little Digs. And then also I met most importantly I met my dog Cool Deep, who is one of my engineers now that I've been able to really work with a lot, and he's worked with everybody from J. Cole to Earth Gang to Jid, Shamik of course, Young Thug, like just a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And you know, those tree sound sessions really like gave me a better perspective of how to maneuver and how to move and learn more about just music in general.
Yeah.
So I'm always grateful for those experiences.
I love that. I love that. I love that the energy that you have with all that you do is still, you know, truly just based in collaboration. And I think that's something that is I'm glad that it doesn't feel like it's rare anymore, but I do love people who are the best examples of it, you know. Because I think that energy is going to spread. The people that, you know, come under you who want to learn from you, that'll be something that'll be truly something that you give them and something that they take with them, and just like you said, changing the game, making those individuals who are at least inspired by you, who want to do anything similar to what you do or just want to understand something, coming with that energy of, you know, work on the craft that you're great at and be able to, you know, share that with others. But also when you see something that either is for you or could be for you and someone else or whatever, just jump at that opportunity if you really feel like this is something that is going to be beneficial for all parties involved.
One of my real good friends, his name is Brooks. He's been around my development in regards to just putting myself in a position ever since like we met in college.
Yeah.
And I remember there was one day, this was like years ago, and he remembers everything. So if I bring this up, he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I remember that day." That's just how he is, right? He had a quote on his phone, and the quote was, "The greatest pleasure in life is doing what people say you cannot do." And it stuck with me. It still sticks with me to this day, and I always tell everybody that because there's always someone that feels like that you're not good enough for whatever you want to do. Whether people saying to you like, "Hey, I mean, I see you doing this podcast thing, but I don't think it's a good idea."
Yeah.
It's only because they didn't think about it first.
Yeah.
Or they don't have the grit, the passion, the energy, and the time to dedicate towards it.
Yeah. So
with that quote, it stuck with me forever, and I feel like it will forever stick with me, is because it goes back into changing the game. I'm here to change people's perspectives of anything, and you know, I'm human, not the most perfect person in the world, and there's still things that I have to personally develop within myself.
Yes.
You know, and my girl and I, we was just talking about like this year is development for both of us. So I have to put myself in a position to make sure that whatever I manifest, that I continue to do it. Yeah. And the goal is to prove people that you're capable of doing anything that you set your mind to, no matter what the distractions come your way. So for those who say that I cannot do it, I'm gonna show you that I can do it.
I like that. And I don't want to take it anywhere else because I think that's a good little note to send people off on. What I would like for you to do before we go is to let everybody know how they can support you, how they can just support you and build you up in any way, shape, or form, how they can follow you and keep up with you. Let the people know.
All right, man. So you can find me. You can find me somewhere in Benihana's with my girlfriends. Let me stop. I'm not going to a whole spiel, man. I'm gonna stop. You can find me on all social media platforms at MILLIECTG. MILLIECTG. Support me with my music, man. I'm out here in these streets, cause I'm on all DSPs. It don't even matter if you got PlayStation or Xbox. I bet you can find my music on it. That's how connected I am. Okay, so I have a current single that during the time of this recording is out right now. It's called World on Hold. It's talks about, you know, my perspective of what's going on within the world as of right now, and I feel like that it's just having us on hold, and there's always there's a deeper agenda in regards to what's going on. So if you go to my Instagram, which is MILLIECTG, click the link on the bio, you can go to there. In the next couple of weeks, I will be releasing my new single for my upcoming project that I got coming out. It's called Young Haitian, which is called, the first single is going to be, and just to let you know, you got the exclusive on it because no one else know about it. So it's going to be called Catch This Vibe, and it's produced by my dog out of on the West Coast, Mock Deuce. So it is an international vibe. So energy is real international, reggae, Afro beats type vibe. So I'm really, really excited about it. And it's funny how that song came about, because the way the song was originally set up was, it was shout out beatbuild.wave. They have a competition where artists submit in their acapellas, and producers will build around the beat.
Oh damn!
So I originally had this song set up on a totally different beat, but I sent the vocals either way. And Mock Deuce and this other producer by the name of Vinny B was going back and forth in regards to creating their own version of it.
Yeah.
Mock Deuce won by a fucking landslide. The energy and the vibe of the song completely changed the whole mindset of how he produced it, which was crazy. Like, I remember they played it on live, and my sister, shout out my little sister King B, she texts me with the quickness. She's like, if you don't get this fucking song, because it was something so far left, and what he did to it really did the justice, and really started the relationship him and I have now. Yeah. So we worked on a few more tracks together. Yeah. That that we're definitely going to be releasing soon. But every time I let anybody hear that song, they said, "Yeah, this is the one."
What's the name of that one again?
Catch This Vibe.
Catch This Vibe. Yeah. And that one's available now too.
So it's not, well, depending on the time of recording. Yeah. It should be available at the time whenever you release this. Okay. But yeah, that might be the one that's probably gonna be the one that's gonna replace the link for. No, it is going to be the one that's gonna replace the link for World on Hold. But yeah, it's exciting. I'm really, really excited about this song. So like, a lot of times, when people release music, like, I got this new track that I'm really excited about. Like, out of all the tracks I released, this is probably the one that I'm most excited about.
Well, yes. Make sure that you all go, not only follow, but certainly go into the description of this episode, and you'll see all the things that were just mentioned. That be songs, that be his profiles and handles, so you can get to those things as quickly as possible. If you don't know, now you know you can listen to the Simply King podcast everywhere podcasts are streamed. You can follow me at Kings_Memoirs on all platforms. You can follow the podcast at the Simply King Pod on IG, like the Facebook page at the Simply King Podcast, as well as make sure that you like, review, leave comments, and for damn sure share. As I always say, this is family size content. So you would be mad as hell at yourself. You sit there and eat that whole bag of family size potato chips without giving not even one of them to somebody else. So share this. I appreciate you in advance. This is the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. I'm Rodney Perry. This has been Millie, CTG, and this is Simply King. Peace.
Tell me where you wanna go. We can go high or low. What about me up and down? I see you wanna stay around. I'm ready to go tonight, as long as you're by my side. So let's